Hello, everybody. It's Miss Elizondo, and this is the Science Notebook update for week 2.2. It's the second week of the second 6 weeks. Okay, and this is going to be a video to help you update your science notebook. So, I'm going to show you my science notebook. Okay, here is the page where week 2.2 begins, and it always begins with vocabulary words. Okay, so the vocabulary words I got from the syllabus. So it's a science syllabus for reporting period 2, week 2. So if you go down to Tuesday, right there, conductor, insulator circuit, series circuit, parallel. Okay, so that's where I got the vocabulary words. So I have the first one is conductor. Okay, in order for me to have all of them on one page, I folded my paper in half. Okay, opened it up, and I traced with a red marker down the fold line. And then I skipped 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. So when I skipped 4 lines, I drew a red line going horizontally or across. And that was enough space for the first vocabulary word, which is conductor. In a wire, you have the metal part. That's the conductor. It's a material that it easily transfers heat or electricity. Okay, so now you're working with electricity and you're working with heat, okay, or electricity. So safety is the utmost concern when you're working with electricity, okay, because not all conductors are covered with an insulator. Okay, so if you have an insulator, that means you have a plastic covering or a rubber covering, or you're using an oven mitt to take out the cake from the oven so that it'll slowly stop or slowly prevent the heat from burning your hand through the oven mitt. Okay, so an insulator is a material that stops or slows down the flow of heat, electricity, or sound. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are practicing your safety rules, especially when you're working with electricity. Okay, circuit. If you're building a circuit, it can have a complete circuit all the way around and the circuit is closed, or you can have an open circuit where it's incomplete. That means a wire is open. Okay, but a circuit is a path of electric currents. Okay, if the circuit is closed, that means the light bulb will turn on. If the circuit is open, the light bulb's not going to turn on, it's going to be off. The next one is a type of circuit. It's a series circuit. It's like in Christmas lights. If one light bulb goes out or burns out, or you step on it and break it, all of the light bulbs will not turn on. Okay, so it is a circuit with several bulbs in a single path. If one burns out, all burn out. Pretty frustrating with Christmas lights. Okay, the next word is parallel circuit, kind of like parallel lines in math. Those circuits never touch. So I drew a layout of my house. So there's a switch in my kitchen for the light. That switch does not have control over my bedroom light or my bathroom light or my closet light because they all each have their own switch. Okay, that means they're parallel from each other. Okay, so a parallel circuit is a circuit with parallel branches or wires. They have their own wires for each room. Okay. And then you have electricity. I drew a wall socket and lightning. Okay. It is energy created by charged particles. So if you're working with charged particles, you got to be very careful. Okay. Making sure that everything is safe around you, nothing is wet, that you have your insulator ready, that you have your safety plan ready, because this is electricity. There are particles that are supercharged. Okay. So these are my vocabulary words for the week. It's the very first page for week 2.2. If I turn the page, I have a nice little project foldable This is the finished product. Okay. Electricity can become. So the safety precaution is that electricity can be transformed into something else. So it's very important that you're pretty safe because electricity can become light, it becomes hot or thermal, it can become sound, or it can become mechanical energy. Okay, so when it comes to thermal energy, you got to be very careful because electricity can become very hot. Okay, so how did I get this project done? What I did first, and let me use my other notebook so that you could see how I started this one. Okay, so I'm going to use a clean page so that you could see how I started this project. So I put the title, Electricity Can Become. Okay, so if electricity can become something else, you got to be very careful with what you're doing with all the things related to electricity. Okay, then I took my page and I folded in half. Okay, I opened it up, and right at the full line and the very first line of my notebook, I drew a dot. Okay, and then I skipped 10 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I drew another dot. Okay, and then from this first dot, I skipped 20 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, and I put a dot there. So I'm going to put a dot in the same place as the one over here on the side. So I'm going to stop at that pink line from your notebook and put another dot. And then I'm going to connect the dots. I'm going to connect the dots, and then you can start to see your foldable start to take shape. Okay, it's like a rhombus somewhat. It's a little crooked here, but it's okay. Okay, I'm going to take my pencil and trace on that full line and then trace a line going across. Okay, those are my doors for electricity can become. So I'm going to fold my page again, and I'm going to mark a little mark right here. That's where I'm going to cut a little slit. Okay, just cut a little bit. Yes, I am making a hole in that page. That's how much I cut. Okay, and I folded my page so that I can actually see the hole. So if I open up the page, there's the hole. That hole is for you to insert your scissors and cut on the pencil line all the way to the dot and stop. Cut on the pencil line all the way to the dot and stop. Oops, sorry. Cut to the pencil line to the dot and stop. And I just turn my journal because it's easier. Cut on the pencil line to the dot and stop. So now I have my doors. So I have door 1, door 2, door 3, and door 4. Okay, so every door is its own energy. Okay, every door is its own energy, and that's how I got this foldable. So let me show you the finished product. So here is what it looks like. So the first door, I put light energy. Electricity can become light energy like in the lamp. So I drew the lamp and I opened up the door of light energy and I wrote electricity can transform into light energy in a lamp. Okay. The next door I put is thermal energy, and I drew a toaster because toaster for sure gives me heat, especially when I plug it in and I pull down the little switch in my toaster and I can toast my bread. Okay. So electricity can transform into thermal energy in a toaster. Okay. Electricity can become sound energy. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my journal so that you could see it better. Okay. So electricity can become sound energy, like my headphones. I have the headphones connected to my laptop connected to the battery, and the battery connected to the wall outlet when it's charging. Okay. So electricity can transform into sound energy in headphones and mechanical energy. So electricity can become mechanical energy, like in a fan. Once you connect it to the outlet, you flip that switch and it starts to move. And moving is mechanical energy. So when I open the door, it says electricity can transform into mechanical energy in a fan. Okay. So if I turn my journal the right way, you can see the finished product. Okay. If I turn that page, I will see the 4 sentences that I wrote about energy transformation. So I wrote the title, Energy Transformation. Electricity can become all these 4. And we got to be very careful with electricity, especially when it becomes thermal energy. That is the safety precaution. Okay. So if I turn the page, this is for our lab. We're going to try to find out if certain items are conductors or insulators. Okay, so what I did is I wrote the title, conductor or insulator, and I folded my page in half. And then I folded my page in half again. Remember, I want a data table just like I did last week. Okay, we're going to record everything we do for our science project or our science experiment. So the items that you have to test are penny, popsicle stick or pencil, a spoon, metal or plastic, a bonus one, I'm going to do a rock, and then we're going to analyze. Okay, so the check marks in pencil are my hypothesis. So I need to hypothesize as to if the penny will be a conductor or an insulator. So I put that the penny is going to be a conductor. So I checked it off with pencil. I said the popsicle stick or the pencil will be an insulator. So I put a check mark here. The spoon, it depends what kind of spoon you have. If you have a metal spoon, well, it'll be a conductor. If you have a plastic spoon, it'll be an insulator. That's my hypothesis. And of course, the rock, it would be an insulator. Then at the end, when you actually test them, you're going to analyze or break up this data table and study the parts. What happened? What interested you? Okay. Every time you do a science lab, you have a lab report. Okay. So on the left side, you have to write about what happened in your science lab using those vocabulary words. Okay. Using those vocabulary words. So I have to write what I learned, incorporating or including these vocabulary words within my paragraph. Okay. So this is week 2.2 with vocabulary from conductor all the way to electricity. The next page is your foldable on what electricity can become. If I turn that page, you have the energy transformations. That means electricity can transform into something else, and you got to be very careful with that. If I turn the page, this is for the science lab on Thursday, and then you complete your lab by writing a lab report. Okay, that is for week 2.2 Science Notebook Update. Thank you.